hits film locations and collecting things from his movies. So he really meant a lot to me. I was fortunate enough to actually go to his public memorial up in Toronto the week after he died. And that was really interesting, very sad, but sort of cathartic, if you know what I'm saying. You know, just being able to go there and say goodbye. I have met him many times over the years, George Romero, at conventions and such, and I talked to his wife and him many times, but, you know, I wouldn't say we're like friends or anything like that. Just talking casually about different things about the films, like anybody else could. But it was nice because other fans, major fans like myself, were there also. People I've known for many years. So we got to it. It was very sad, of course, when you get there, and then you start talking about him, and it becomes a little bit of a celebration. You know, like at any kind of like wake or type of situation like that. And we all start talking about the first time we met him and things like that, and our experiences with George and the movies and such. And it became more of a celebration, a little bit, as much as it can be at something like that. And also, as for me, on Facebook, I run a lot of George Romero related groups. I run the largest Dawn of the Dead group on Facebook. It's simply called Dawn of the Dead. I run one for Creepshow called Creepshow Creeps. I run the Living Dead Weekend group. I run one for Day of the Dead called Dr. Logan's Chop Shop, the best Day of the Dead group. I'm just heavily involved with everything George Romero because I love his films and what they represent. I also have to pay attention while I'm talking to you where we're going because she doesn't know where we're going. I have to guide her.
I don't. I heard you'll tell me.
Yep.
Thank you.
Our next location, if you're following along in the program, is a spot from the Crazies. And I'm going to reenact the major scene that happens there, and I think you're going to enjoy it.
It's Oscar worthy.
As we go along, I could also take any questions you might have. You know, you could ask me anything about a George Romero film. I'll try to answer it as best I can.
Were you able to attend the award show like about a month before?
No. You know, this gentleman just asked if I was able to attend the there's an award show or ceremony for George where you receive some kind of lifetime award or something. I don't remember offhand what it was called. It was in, I believe, maybe June, right? Or May.
It was about a month
in
prior.
Pittsburgh. And no, the thing is, I live 8 hours away in South Carolina.
Wow.
So I am not able to just come up here on a whim. I can't even do any of my research and finding locations and such on a whim. I have to really plan. The way I've sort of researched most locations and things that I've done over the years, all the locations for this tour, in fact, was through the internet, through Google Street Views, through researching property records, anything I could find. Say I'm looking for a location, I will go listen to a commentary on the movie. I will look at the backgrounds of shots in the movie and try to find them on Google Street Views if I don't have any other information. I'll look at up and down roads if I find any bit of information. And eventually, I'll track something down. It'll take me years sometimes, but I'll do it. I never quit. For example, there was one location from George Romero's Martin that I was looking for. And you would think, if you know the movie, most of it takes place in Braddock, PA. And in a certain sort of radius of area is a lot of it. And I'm looking at this one shot in the movie and nothing matches on any of the roads where it should be, or even in line of the path where he may have walked. Nothing makes sense, nothing matches. But I wouldn't give it up. I'm looking for about 2.5 years for this spot, and I just found it about a year ago. And I was just looking up and down all the roads of Braddock. Okay, anything that matches, any building, up and down. And one day, I mean, I'm looking at different days, hours and hours. Finally, I just go down a road like I don't think I had looked at before. And boom, there it was. I'm like, oh, there's a house. There's that sort of wall that's along the road there. There it is. It took me like 2.5 years to find this one spot.
What's your favorite George Romero film?
Haha. Ooh, that's a complicated question, but a good one. He said, don't do it. Don't make the choice. It's like Sophie's Choice, okay? Have you seen that movie where you have to choose which of your children dies?
If you don't answer right, half of us are getting off the bus.
Well, my favorites are, of course, the original trilogy, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead. And a huge love for Creepshow, of course, too. I love it. And he's right. I'm not going to answer that. I have a huge amount of affection for all of them in different ways.
Good answer.
Starting route 205 Clark Street. In 1.7 miles, turn left into Clark Street.
And like I said, if you have any questions, anything occurs to you to ask while we're on the tour, please ask. Anytime we're on the bus, please ask. And as a result of my sort of obsessive fandom of these movies, like I said, I run all these Facebook groups, I do all this research and find these locations pretty much for years on my own, just for myself. It wasn't so I could eventually do a tour or something. It was just for my own satisfaction, something that I enjoy doing.
Larry, does it seem like to you that, I just watched the Crazies again for the first time the other day, does it seem like to you that even though he had done Night and kind of had the zombie layout already put together, it sure seems like Crazies was really the lead up to doing Dawn. As I watched
It absolutely is.
I mean, just the way it was shot, everything was just like the precursor to kind of getting the format the way you wanted for Dawn.
A lot of people can look at the Crazies and see it's pretty much a dry run for Dawn of the Dead. Even though you might want to think that Dawn of the Dead is, in a way, a sort of a remake of Night of the Living Dead, slightly, because it's about zombies and it's doing the same story, people trapped and whatnot. But George had not really done a sort of action movie at all, because Night of the Living Dead is contained in one place. You know, it's not a lot of action. So the Crazies has a lot of action. They're all over the place, running around. It's quick cutting of the shots and such. And it's to create a momentum. And it's more of an action film than anything he had done before. So, if he had not done the Crazies, he may not have been confident enough to do Dawn of the Dead, which has a lot of action and it's quick moving.
Yeah, it seems like very reminiscent, like if you watch Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13 and then Escape.
Yeah.
Or Spielberg's Tool and then Jaws.
Right. Exactly. Duel is just, you know, Jaws with a truck.
Right.
Clark Street is coming up in half a mile. It's going to be a left.
Turn left onto Clark Street.
And I also, out of my fandom and my collecting of memorabilia from George's movies, I've also gotten the chance to work on a lot of books and Blu-ray projects for his films. And I contribute all my photos from going to locations and photos of my collectibles.
I don't want to miss it.
Right. It's coming up. It's going to be next left. Clark Street. At the light. Actually, no, it's the next one. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We're still good.
There you go. That's it. In fact, if you have or own the Scream Factory edition of Day of the Dead,
In a quarter mile, the destination is
you go
on your
straight
left.
up. If you look in the extra bonus features on the Day of the Dead Blu-ray or DVD from Scream Factory, you will see pictures of me in the still galleries because I provided those still galleries. You'll see me in photos from locations of Day of the Dead in Florida, in Fort Myers, where they filmed the beginning scenes of the movie. Also on Sanibel Island. There you go. I'm in the special features. I provided all the still galleries for that, except for one. There are pictures of me and Kevin Kreis, who owns the Living Dead Museum, and Mandy Danger, his assistant, and Daz right here, who is filming me right now. There's a picture of us in the mines from Day of the Dead, where they filmed them. You can go straight up. And there are pictures of me and Kevin Kreis, owner of the Living Dead Museum and organizer of the Living Dead Weekend, at the heliport that you see in Day of the Dead. That's down at Bowman's Beach on Sanibel Island. You can park anywhere in the parking lot there.
Oh, okay.
And we're gonna get out. And leaving here, she's gonna lead on the next stop.
You'll be over there.
Yay! Time out.
Hey Larry, what was the first film you watched that got you like really into the whole Romero craze?
Oh, like, yeah, first job.
We're waiting for them anyway, so. Tim just asked, what was the first George Romero film that I saw? It's a little bit complicated question. I think it was Dawn of the Dead. That might give you a clue a little bit to maybe my favorite. If I were to choose. Not saying anything.
Tracy, you can pull
But it also could have been Creepshow. I don't remember the timeline, yo. I know I saw Creepshow on HBO because it was like on HBO a million times when I was little. So then you got to figure out when did it come on HBO and when did I see Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead didn't hit video until about '83, so they're around the same time. I really can't pinpoint which one I saw or if I knew they were related by the same director and such. So it was one of those two.
Okay.
But we're gonna get out.